White girl is successful. White girl more popular. White girl must be bad. Bad white girl. And of course your fans are racist. You racist!
Caitlin Clark was responsible for $216,000 in sales. Asia Wilson's signature one went for $915, and that's a one-of-one card, $915.
She continues to hate on Caitlin Clark, and it's basically pushing the narrative that the media and other players in the WNBA and people in general are just hating on Caitlin Clark when there seems to be no reason why. So when you start to try to figure out the reasoning, all you can think of is maybe they're jealous, maybe they think it should have been them, that maybe they don't like how much praise Caitlin Clark is getting. It doesn't make sense.
Aja Wilson slams Caitlin Clark $260K card sales, calling it racist. This is bad.
The WNBA just got another dose of explosive drama.
Caitlin Clark. There's no... I think she's amazing.
Sydney Colson, once a beloved member of the Las Vegas Aces, has finally opened up about why she left the team, and what she exposed has left Aja Wilson fuming.
Under 80 points, things are moving in the right direction for Las Vegas.
Yeah, they certainly are, and a lot of good things on the defensive end. That's where so much of the focus has been when things haven't gone.
What really went down behind the scenes? Why did Colson feel pushed out, and how did Las Vegas Aces fail to support her?
AA Wilson slams Caitlin Clark $260K. It's terrible when doll card sales label it racist. Another dose of explosive drama has just hit the WNBA. Once a cherished member of the Las Vegas Aces, Sydney Colson has now spoken out about her reasons for leaving the team, and what she revealed has left Wilson furious. What actually transpired in the background? Why did Colson feel excluded? And more significantly, why is the Indiana Fever now the best escape route for players fed up with WNBA politics? How did the Las Vegas Aces fail to support her?
Plum along the baseline. She does a lot of damage there. Oh, and Asia Wilson.
Even though Sydney Colson wasn't the team's biggest star, she was unquestionably one of its most significant voices. Known for her charisma, humor, and leadership, she was an essential presence in the locker room that kept the chemistry intact and the energy high. But as time passed, it became painfully obvious that her contributions weren't being valued as they should have.
Grip. Yeah, this is one of those where literally everybody in this building just held their breath. Thank God she's okay. I mean, that was scary. She slid on the sock and did the splits.
One of the main problems she had was that, despite being a respected veteran, Colson was always passed over for playing time in favor of younger players. This wasn't just about statistics, it was also about the lack of respect she felt from the front office coaching staff. She had put a lot of effort into the team, but it seemed like the organization only saw her as a bench presence. In a league where opportunities are few and careers are short, feeling like a player is one of the worst things that can happen to a player, but Colson's problems went beyond minutes. The true issue was team chemistry, or rather the absence of it.
She started off hot, stayed hot throughout the entire game, but I think she also took pressure off of her when she was able to find her teammates in transition.
The Las Vegas Aces had a tendency of alienating players who weren't part of the core group, and for a team that prides itself on being a dominant force in the WNBA, there was a developing sense of favoritism within the roster where everything revolved around Aja Wilson. Plum, Kelsey, any star-driven team would have Jackie Young and Chell Gray, but the problem was that other voices didn't appear to matter. Sydney Colson was one of the few players attempting to maintain harmony and make sure that each member of the team felt appreciated, but the organization seemed to ignore her concerns and only want her voice when it was convenient. This is where things get interesting with Jay Wilson as the franchise. Star could have defended Colson, but did she, or was she too secure in her role to be concerned about other people's hardships?
Clark. There's no... I think she's amazing. I watched every time I possibly could. And our league loves her. This has nothing to do with... We're just doing our job.
When these underlying tensions finally reached a breaking point, Colson understood that she had to leave Las Vegas if she wanted to be in an environment where she was genuinely respected. If there is one team that has suddenly become the talk of the WNBA, it's the Indiana Fever, and it's easy to understand why.
It's a 360. Oh, I didn't see a dog in there. Damn.
I hope it's still recording. Where's Chris?
Since Caitlin Clark's arrival, Indiana Fever has undergone a radical change. For athletes like Sydney Colson, who felt ignored in Las Vegas, this is no longer a struggling team. Rather, it is a rising one where senior voices are valued and respected. Indiana symbolized a new beginning.
Tonight, yeah, they worked on it. It's about all they worked on, I think, the last couple of days.
Not to mention the Caitlin Clark effect, the excitement surrounding the Indiana Fever is unparalleled at the moment due to increased media coverage, rising ticket sales, and a fan base that is more involved than ever. For Colson, this was the ideal opportunity to be a part of something greater than a bench warmer. The move made sense, but he was back in Las Vegas. The news of Colson's resignation did not sit well with Aya Wilson, and more significantly, the reasons for it did not sit well with her. Wilson.
Brilliance from Caitlin Clark.
Nice. Boy, Enrique gave it to McCowan, who couldn't finish. Behind the back again for Clark. Give her another.
Wilson has meticulously maintained a public image as a leader who looks out for her teammates, but now some were beginning to wonder if that was actually the case. According to sources, Wilson was incensed by the story that Las Vegas had forced Kusan out.
She'll knocks that one away. Here comes Clark going the other way. Clark going behind the back. Oh, it's Boston, an and one.
Behind closed doors, sources claim that Wilson has been lashing out, frustrated that Colson's statements have put a spotlight on the AC's internal troubles. The last thing Wilson wants is for Las Vegas to be perceived as a team that only cares about its players and ignores everyone else. She now gets to run with Caitlin Clark, one of the most dynamic playmakers in women's basketball history. Clark's passing and court vision are already legendary. She can hit teammates in stride with insane precision and whip cross-court dimes. Now picture Colson, a guard who thrives on movement cuts and transition play, on the receiving end of those assists. Suddenly, Colson is more than just a role player. She is a real scoring threat with more open shots, more chances for fast breaks, and an offense that plays to her skills. With her defensive toughness, Colson's game is about more than just offense. Caitlin Clark can now feel less pressured because Indiana has a seasoned backcourt player who can block perimeter threats, obstruct passing lanes, and offer that. When you look at it this way, it's easy to understand why Colson didn't hesitate when the Las Vegas shakeup started. She saw the energy, momentum, and potential that championship teams need in crunch time, and most importantly, she saw a possibility to win. Even though she was underutilized in Vegas, front offices throughout the league knew what she brought to the table. They saw her leadership. They saw her impact on morale. They saw how she could change a locker room just by walking in. And when Indiana started making moves, Colson was one of the first names on their radar. Players throughout the league realized there was going to be a major reshuffling of talent as soon as the cracks started to form in Las Vegas, with the Aces losing key voices in the locker room and other teams preparing for an arms race. The best opportunities weren't going to be available for long. Wilson is still attempting to contain the damage back in Las Vegas, though, since losing Colson is not only a personnel loss, but also a huge blow to the Aces culture. To make matters worse, other players are watching with the league to see how badly Vegas handled this problem. If there's one thing that all WNBA players agree on, it's that Sydney Colson is a whole vibe. She's not just a player who shows up, gets her minutes, and leaves. She's the lifeblood of the locker room, the source of energy, and the one who keeps the team chemistry flowing. You don't just get Sydney Colson's skills on the court, you also get her unmatched charisma, humor, and leadership behind the scenes, and that's priceless. Just consider what the Indiana Fever are attempting to establish right now. They're not just a struggling franchise trying to survive. They're entering a new era, and we're winning. They have a youthful, hungry roster, Caitlin Clark's star power, the entire basketball world following them every move, and now they have the best synergy with Sydney Colson. In addition to being a top competitor, Builder Colson is the kind of player who keeps spirits high, the energy flowing, and everyone focused when the season gets difficult. When younger players begin to feel the strain of big games, Colson is there with that veteran presence, telling everyone to trust the process and play their game. She also cracks jokes to keep the team lighthearted and ensure that nobody loses focus. Every championship team needs this kind of presence, and let's not overlook the business aspect of it. Sydney Colson is more than just a basketball player. She is a brand thanks to her viral off-court antics and her contagious interview style. This is a fantastic chance for the Indiana Fever because Colson is the kind of player that fans adore. She's funny, self-assured, and exudes a charisma that goes beyond the game itself. Imagine the behind-the-scenes material, mic-up portions, and ads that keep viewers interested over the entire season. Fans will be watching not only to watch Indiana win, but also to hear what Colson has to say, watch her crazy antics on the bench, and watch how she keeps the entire squad motivated in a league that is always vying for more attention. Sydney Colson has a personality that captivates viewers. When you consider everything, Colson's transfer to Indiana makes perfect sense. She's joining a team that is already winning, and she has the opportunity to play with Caitlin Clark and help Indiana become a real contender. In addition to being a competitor, she is bringing enthusiasm, leadership, and commercial appeal to basketball, which heightens the excitement.